This week, we're going electric. I've been driving the all-new 2025 Equinox EV from Chevrolet, and as an EV, I can tell you it's been fine so far. I've driven it for almost a full week, and everything has been good, but this isn't going to be a normal everyday review. We're taking this thing on the ultimate Texas test, a Texas road trip. We're going from Dallas to Houston, about 230 miles. Now this Equinox, as it's trimmed out, has a range of about 310, 320 miles. So you should be able to do the full trip to Houston in one charge if you're all the way at full. We are gonna stop along the way and top up because I do want enough charge once I get there to be running around and doing things without having to worry about charging when I get there. So we're gonna take off from the Dallas area, head down, we'll stop halfway-ish, charge it up, and then make the rest of the trip to Houston and see how the Equinox handles a road trip on Texas highways, a road trip that tons of people do every day. And we'll obviously talk about how the Equinox handles it. But before we hit the road, let's dive into exactly what we're dealing with here. Right off the bat, let me say this. I've never been a really big fan of the Equinox in general. I do have a review on an Equinox from a couple of years ago where I wasn't too kind to it. It's always kind of felt like a beige wallpaper crossover. But this, the 2025 Equinox EV, it doesn't just look different, it feels different. This thing's built on GM's Ultium platform. It looks clean, modern, and even a little upscale, especially in this riptide blue metallic with the white roof and bright roof rails. This color absolutely pops in person and gives a vibe way above its weight class, especially contrast to these dark skies that we have right now in Texas. But when the sun really hits it, it still just really pops. Up front, you've got sleek LED lighting, no traditional grille, although you do have the bow tie breaking up that light bar. We've got a really wide stance that makes it feel planted. Around back, there's a full width light bar and a hands-free AutoSense power liftgate that actually works reliably. And of course, because we got to look flashy, we have the upgraded 21-inch wheels that might make the efficiency suffer a little bit, but look really good. Moving inside, this tester came with the sky coal gray interior. It's modern, clean, and spacious, though personally I prefer a darker trim. The design is minimal, but not boring, and everything feels like it's built with purpose. The tech in here is on point. You get a big, crisp infotainment screen running Google built in, plus wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The head-up display is one of my favorite features, super helpful for road trips, and the 360-degree camera system is crystal clear and makes parking this thing, even though it's not large, makes it a lot easier. This trim includes the Convenience Package 2, which adds heated and ventilated front seats, heated rear outboard seats, a heated steering wheel, Evo text seats, wireless charging, and multicolor ambient lighting. It feels high-end without going full luxury. Storage up front is smart too, with a floating center console that's perfect for bags, cables, or snacks. There are a few other cool and quirky features in here that's worth going over. One, there's not really a start-stop button, at least for almost this entire trip. I didn't think there was one at all. So you get into the car, you sit down, and the car starts. You put it in park, you open your door and get out, and the car turns itself off. There have been a couple of times, mainly as I'm doing this review and getting in and out, taking shots of the vehicle, where the vehicle wouldn't turn itself off. And I was frustrated trying different things to get it to turn itself off, putting it into drive, putting it back into park, opening the door. And sometimes that worked and sometimes it didn't. Lo and behold, there is a way to turn it off from the screen. It's a bit difficult to see here on the video, but there is a button here to turn the vehicle off or cancel and leave it on. So there is a way to physically turn it off if it doesn't turn itself off for you. All right, so we're sitting at a Buc-ee's parking lot on the outskirts of Dallas, charging up at one of the Tesla Supercharger networks. I'm gonna let it hit close to 100% or so, maybe stay here another 30 minutes, and then we're gonna hit the road. Another quick thing, I have been showing you the dash cam that I got. Now, this was sent out to me from the company. It's just kind of a Chinese brand, no name brand specifically. I'll leave a link down in the description if you're interested in getting one. But it comes with a barrel charger, one of the cigarette lighter chargers, an accessory charger, and I dug around in this car for probably way too long trying to find if it had one. Just assumed it didn't. Luckily, it charges USB-C, so I had my USB-C to USB-C cable here for my phone, plugged it in, it worked fine, but then I got smart, and down underneath the floating center console, there is an accessory charging port, so I plugged in the right cable and was able to plug in that dash cam. And during a long road trip, trust me, you're gonna get some interesting things caught on a dash cam. All right, we're officially hitting the road from Dallas to Houston, about 230 miles. We are planning on stopping, mostly highway. So the plan is to stop in Centerville, which is a little over halfway, and top off at a Tesla Supercharger network. And yes, I haven't really mentioned it so far, but the Equinox EV comes with a CCS adapter, which means you can adapt it from one network to the Tesla network, and it works with Tesla chargers. Compared to other EVs I've tested where charging can be hit or miss, this was seamless. Major props to Chevy for making Tesla access easy. Now let's talk about how it drives. This isn't a sporty SUV, but that instant torque from the electric motor still can make it a bit fun. It's rated at 210 horsepower, 242 pound-feet of torque, and that's more than enough for merging, passing, or just feeling quick around town. On the highway, it's quite composed, no engine noise, minimal wind noise and road noise, just smooth sailing. The one pedal driving is intuitive and works well in traffic or rural stretches. Even with the big 21-inch wheels, the ride is comfortable, suspension tuning is solid, and it never felt floaty or overly stiff. And yes, before this trip, I did have the kids in the back for errands, and it passes the grocery getter test with flying colors. Easy to get in and out of, plenty of room, and a usable 26.4 cubic feet of cargo space behind the seats. So it's been a while since I've driven a Chevy with Super Cruise, probably since it first came out, and while it was a bit sketchy the first couple of times I drove a vehicle with it, noting that those vehicles were bigger vehicles, this time after engaging Super Cruise on my trip, it worked pretty flawlessly. It's probably still not best in class, but it's really good. The car also includes enhanced automatic parking assist, which honestly feels a bit gimmicky to me, but hey, it's there if you want it. You do have the lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and rear camera mirror. It's all baked in. All right, guys, so we made it to our destination, up and charging. Funny enough, it does say if I didn't charge at all, I would arrive at our destination at 19%. That's why we're stopping and charging. I don't want to do that. So we're going to get it up, probably up to 80% or so. To go to a full 100%, it's saying is going to be just over an hour. So we don't need to do that. We just need to get it up to like 80. Biggest issue with charging is the front charging port. All the Tesla chargers are made for Tesla vehicles. I've had to take up 2 spots here to get this thing to charge. And this place is pretty full, so if somebody comes along and complains, I will move. Luckily, so far that hasn't happened, and I need to get this thing charged and get on the road. So far with the drive, the biggest thing that I can say is the Super Cruise has really impressed me. It's not quite set it and forget it, but you can set it. It does a really good job keeping you in your lane. At first, I didn't like the automatic lane switching, but after letting it do it for a couple of times, I can say it works really well. There are a few times where I would manually override and not let it switch lanes, but for the most part, no issues. Really impressed with the Super Cruise. Other than that, the trip's been smooth. We've got an hour and 24 minutes left to get to our destination, but again, we've got to charge, so we'll be back on the road after a bit. So with all of that, let's talk about how the Equinox EV stacks up to some of the competition out there. First, you have the Ioniq 5, which I have driven and really like. It has a base price around $41,000, $42,000 and a range of about 300 to 303 miles. It is Tesla charging compatible. Next, you have the Ford Mustang Mach-E, base price around $39,000, $40,000. Up to 300 miles of range, and is also compatible with the Tesla charging network. I actually haven't driven a Mach-E. I really want to. Ford doesn't want to give me one for whatever reason, but that's neither here nor there. Next up, we have the Volkswagen ID4, which I have driven also. Just under $40,000 base price, 291 miles of range, and is also compatible with Tesla's network. And then the Tesla Model Y, basing just over $43,000, and that one will get you a range around 260 miles. Now, you can get the Model Y with higher range in the 300, 320, I believe. I haven't driven the Model Y. I haven't really driven many Teslas. I've only driven the X at an event when it first came out. Really liked it at that point. But I'm really keen on driving the new Model Y, which was just released. So hopefully I'll make that happen this year. Finally, another vehicle I have driven is the Nissan Ariya, base just under $40,000. You're looking at only 216 miles on that base vehicle. And again, it is compatible with the Tesla charging network. And again, I do want to emphasize that I think being compatible with Tesla network is a key. All the other non-Tesla networks that I've ever used throughout the years of driving Fords, Mercedes, EVs, and many others, they always have some kind of issue with them. Maybe they're fixing that, but there's definitely always an issue here or there. Compared to those, the Equinox EV bases at $33,000. That's obviously much less than all the others that are around $40,000. Like I've showed here, you get up to about 320 miles of range at a full charge, which is pretty fantastic. Can do, obviously, we just did a trip from Dallas to Houston, and I think that's a key for this thing. It's really competitive, especially for the size of vehicle that you're getting and all the tech that's in this thing. Chevy might end up just being a real competitor. Let's find a place to jump out and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, so I'm officially back from the trip. This is a couple of days later, even a fully different car behind me, but I need to wrap up this review, road trip, and really give you my final thoughts on the Equinox EV. It was a pretty grueling trip with driving down to close to Houston, just north of Houston, driving a bunch of vehicles and then driving home back to the Dallas area, all in an EV that I had to plan out the trip so that I had enough battery to get there, to drive around there, and to get back. And quite frankly, I couldn't be more impressed with the performance of the Equinox EV. We did close to 500 miles total in that trip, and I definitely had less driver fatigue during that trip thanks to the Super Cruise feature. The charging situation ended up being really almost a non-issue. Thankfully, it was able to charge at the Tesla Supercharger stations. It took a few times charging for me to really get the hang of it. You really got to pull it up close to that charger for the cord to reach and use that connector. But once you're there, especially stopping at a place like Buc-ee's where I stopped most of the time, you plug it in, walk through the parking lot to get to the Buc-ee's, go in, use the restroom, grab some snacks or whatever, get out, come back to the car, and you've already got a good amount of charge in that time. There's only one time where I really sat around and just waited for it to get up over 80% charge, and that was coming back because they were picking up the car the next day and I didn't want to worry about going and charging it again and having them have enough charge to get to where they needed to go. So thanks to the team that delivers those and the team at Chevy for all that. And the EV market is undeniably getting crowded. There are a ton of great vehicles out there, even new ones that I drove at the event that we drove this to. So look for videos on those on this channel if you're interested. But it's undeniable that the Chevy is a great value and really a great pick for this segment. I didn't come into this road trip thinking that, but I definitely left it thinking that. I have no issue recommending at least a test drive, if not a full-out purchase of the Equinox EV. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to do long term, but it really did feel like a solid vehicle with a lot of great tech. With that, I hope you enjoyed this longer road trip style video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the competition. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We do a different review every week, plus all the content that we just got at this event that we went to. Lots to check out. Also, check out TXGarage.com, where we've got a lot of written reviews, as well as event and news coverage from a lot of great authors over there, not just myself. Really, we're checking out TXGarage.com. With that, that's going to wrap this one. Thanks for watching.